In the mix.
You have to be a lover of music to the point where you just can't love the things that you like.
You have to be hungry. When people give you that shot, that hunger has to be there when you ready to eat.
You got to feel confident in yourself and your skills and know that at the end of the day, if this is what you want to do, you're going to do it. It's going to be done to the best of your ability.
No DJ, no party. No music, no party. You can't have a party without a DJ. It's impossible.
The DJ is the person who is in control. Whether it's control of the party, control of the event, control of the tempo, control of the pace, control of the music, control of the time. DJ is always in control.
A DJ will always be the most important piece of a party. They're the pulse, the motor, the conductors of the entire night. And whether we realize it or not, the DJs will always be in control. But to this group of DJs, they all have something in common.
Howard University. Y'all have to come to Howard.
Howard.
There's no other place in the world like the Mecca.
Howard University, otherwise known as the Mecca, an HBCU that serves as an epicenter for popular culture, a place where black people from all over the world come to learn and excel, a place where people from all backgrounds can express themselves, from fashion to music. All of these DJs have stepped foot on Howard's campus, not only kickstarting amazing careers, but also pushing the boundaries of what it means to be a DJ. But why does all this matter to me? Well, because I'm honored to be a part of this collective. My name is Dionne, otherwise known as DJ Magic. After winning the coveted title of Howard's Hottest, I was welcomed into a loving lineage of Howard's most talented DJs. Surprisingly, there's an interesting history of DJs who went to Howard, a history that's been overlooked. So, I'm going to the source to meet DJs and innovators who all just so happen to have started their careers at Howard University. I'm going to unravel the history and influence of Howard DJs over the past 15 years. I'm going to show you what it's like in the mix.
My name is DJ Premonition. I'm a DJ for going on 20 years now, Howard alum, and as you guys can see, Washington Redskins game day DJ. To me, a DJ is a lot of different things. A music curator, a party rocker, but more than anything, he's a servant to the people and the clients that he has. When I was a senior in high school, I started on CD players, which is wild back then. CD players and a mixer, and just really fell in love with it. Got my own turntables when I came to DC and went to Howard, and really got a lot of opportunities, and my start really through Howard and being there. It was a lot of house parties back then. I was doing maybe 2 a week, just doing a lot of house parties. And then my junior year, the fall, I got my first club residency. I was campus PAL president, and the promoters that were trying to sell me on getting the parties for a freshman week were like, hey, we'll let you DJ. I was like, okay, and I get paid, so that's awesome, so those are my first opportunities into the club atmosphere. And it took years for guys to get into the club scene back then, and I had a good opportunity from that, and then I was pledging pretty much Alpha the entire time. Shout out Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Beta Chapter. But once I got done and I came back, I had a ton of opportunities just from club parties, events. That allowed me to continue to grow as a DJ for the next couple of years as I stayed around in the area of DC. Yard Fest was just incredible opportunity to be in front of that many people at your alma mater is just incredible. Just the energy that goes around that. It's a lot of pressure, and that actually helped me further in my career once I got those opportunities. Because I think I DJ Yard Fest maybe five years straight. I was able to know what it's like to rock a live concert crowd, which helps me here when I'm DJing for the Redskins as well. I'll be completing my second year in I think we've got about a month left. It was a rude awakening, I will say that. I thought I was prepared. I was not nearly prepared when I went into my first preseason game. Luckily, it was a preseason. And just dealing with the speed of what's going on a consistent basis with working in game operations, especially with music. You have to be in and out of certain songs at a certain time. You have to pay attention to what's going on the field, and you just have to be quick. I had to be a lot quicker. So just adjusting to the quickness of what was going on and then preparing Like, I prepare for games probably more than anything I've ever done as a DJ. Nothing compares to being a sports DJ and preparing all of your music. Once we get into a game, you don't have time to be trying to figure out and queuing and being like, oh, let me get this ready. You gotta be on it. You get overwhelmed at first and then you just adjust. You just adjust and just consistently trying to get better and elevating every time so that the fans and the team can have an even better experience on Sundays.
Howard DJs. Do you mind describing how that was like while you were there and how you kind of interacted with it as you left and helping other people?
Gotcha. So I'll be honest. Back in those days, it was, I won't say cutthroat, but there was a lot more of a competitive kind of feel to it. You're competing for events and you want to be the top person. It's just natural. So there wasn't a whole lot of camaraderie back then. It really wasn't. It was basically every man for himself. Then there were younger DJs that were coming, guys like DJ Big Will, DJ Chubby Swag, Anonymous. I remember when he was getting, DJ Anonymous, I remember he was getting his start. He asked me to punch out just about equipment and stuff like that. Once my era of DJs kind of graduated and moved on, is where you kind of see a lot less of the really hardcore competitive nature of it, and which is good. You know, Chubby had started, DJ Chubby Swag had started the HU DJ Collective, which was awesome. Just having guys and girls, you know, come together as DJs and support one another versus always competing, and you get a lot of value in that.
Ooh, nigga. Ooh. You want to see something cold? Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Who's that? But who's that?
Do I not know?
No, you know. You know, we was just talking about her. That's Shea Butter Baby right there.
What?
Performing at Howard, fall 2009, because I had a Jerry Curl. And somebody just tagged me in. That's really nuts.
My name is Terrell Williams, aka DJ Chubby Swag. I'm from Los Angeles by way of Inglewood, California. And I've pretty much been living in DC since I got to Howard. So, yeah. My cousin was a DJ and he gave me a choice when I was younger. He said, you're either gonna DJ or you're gonna be a producer. I can see it in you now, so you gotta pick one. And back then I chose being a producer. Once I left to come to Howard, I wanted to start something different. So I ended up having that decision all over again, and I chose DJing. I caught the bug after just being in all the party experiences and also starting off as a promoter and a host. When I first got to Howard, we all used to populate around this dorm called the Quad, and in front there was a wall in which we called the booty wall. This was the place to meet people for the first time and engage them. I met somebody who was from California, and we talked, and she said, hey, you got that Chubby Swag. And that rang off a bell in my head that I needed to take that and do something with it because it sounded cool. So going home over the summer, I worked at Universal Studios, but I saved up all that money and I was buying DJ equipment and I was buying records every week. By the end of the summer, I had 2 turntables, a mixer, I had a Serato box, some pretty crappy needles, but I had tons of records. After summer, I get ready for my sophomore year. And this time, I'm ready. I made a chart, like a list, like I need to do every single one of these events. Every single one of these events by any means possible. And that's what I set out to do. I also did Howard's Hottest and I won. Howard's Hottest started my sophomore year.
Like winning Howard's Hottest, like that was a big moment.
And the moment you win Howard's Hottest, it's like, all right, you want this gig, what you doing this Friday, what you doing this Saturday?
Howard's Hottest, I think, has Not only for me having a lot of love for WHBC in general, because that's also where I got a lot of experience. It's nothing like it on campus, to where at the end of the day, what's being judged is your talent, what you put out, what is your skill, like, you know, and how well you stack up. When the lights are on, can you perform?
Bruh, we about a day away from Howard's hottest. I'm telling y'all, Howard, you do not want to miss this. You gotta be at the Blackburn Ballroom, 7 p.m. WHBC. I'm gonna explain it to you like this. Howard ain't never seen nothing this hot, and I'm gonna tell you why. For one, we got an 8 DJ exhibition. I'm talking about 8 DJs spinning, going hard, going ham, whatever. Howard's hottest, October 13th. I can't stress that enough. 7 p.m. Blackburn Ballroom. I holla at y'all there. Small City, Big Dreams.
What's good, everybody? My name is Joseph Jackson. Everybody knows me as Smalls. Former promotions director from your #1 college station, WHBC. We run the real HU. Former Def Jam college rep, BET college rep. And all around hustler. Well, I created a lot of events at Howard. Like, the thing about it is, when I got to WHBC, they were already doing like the calf nights, the basketball games, the football games, and those type of events here and there with some of the other organizations. But what I wanted to do was brand the station as a go-to for events. So I came up with like 8 different events. One event in particular that didn't really pan out too well after I left was the Rockstar Awards, which was actually the first ever Student Choice Awards. Wow. Now they done revamped it and somebody else took it over, and now they're doing the same type of thing that we had started to do. But the main staple event that I created was Howard's Hottest. And Howard's Hottest is something that's lasted for a long time. They always say, if you create something that's gonna outlive you. For Howard's Hottest, it was actually a mixtape that I had created when I was really an artist at the time. So the name of the mixtape was Howard's Hottest. And so the actual first Howard's Hottest was supposed to be my mixtape release party. But we created this event to showcase the DJs that we had recruited. We had WHBC at the time, we recruited 8 different DJs. Me and Logo went to a lot of house parties, because at the time, house parties was killing Howard, you know what I mean, before gentrification came along. So we went to a lot of house parties, and actually that's actually how I found Chubby. I went out to their different events that they were DJing at to make sure that it was on point. My thing is I always wanted to give everybody a shot, because nobody was perfect at the time, you know, so it was like, yo, we're gonna give everybody a chance to do their thing and to grow. And so that's how it happened. The DJ competition, the original format was a pass the torch type of thing, like a hot potato type of thing. So there were 8 DJs and they were stationed throughout the venue. So one DJ started and they had a certain amount of time. And so they had to pass it to the next DJ and pass it to the next DJ. And whichever DJ dropped the momentum of the crowd, they were eliminated. So it was round by round. Anytime you do something great, you're always gonna have pushback. And the amount of pushback that I got to put that event together, I guess that is the reason why it is still going on to this day, you know. The intent was always to be student ran and for the students to do their thing, you know what I mean, to push their culture. And so, but I see it being big. I see it on the level of homecoming. And I know it can get to that point.
Listening to Howard's Hottest, featuring my man Small City Big Dreams. Yo, Smalls, what up, my nigga? Hey, man, they ain't believing we there.
Now, everybody knows Howard from the notable people, the lawyers, the doctors, the politicians. But when it comes to entertainment, we crush the game, like across the board. I mean, they hate to see it, but that's why they hate it. Being a part of Howard, that name alone gets you in certain doors, and it holds such prestige to where it's like, yo, I'm expecting excellence. So if you say you're a hot DJ and you from Howard, oh, I know you're gonna kill it. You know, that's just how we do it. We're gonna bring our best.
Headphones and whatever. And when I first started learning, me and my homie Chubby at Howard and shit, he never used headphones either. So he'd be the DJ or whatever, and then I just like used to always be in the club with him, and I'd be like, you know what, I feel like I can, you know, DJ and host at the same time and like whatever and shit. So I definitely like picked up a lot of techniques and shit from him, just being next to him all the time.
I started working with Chase B after a while because he was my host plenty of times. Sophomore year, we had just joined this group called Dream Team. We started throwing parties. We were all in the same promotion group, and it was cool because it was all friends of ours. I would be the DJ, he would be the host, close to the time I was becoming a pal, he was finding the interest to DJ. So that's where we started connecting even harder. Because we were already friends, but this made it serious. Because it was like, now, like, this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. We choose music, and we choose music our way. We knew Jay was going to be in the same boat, but we didn't know that it was going to be DJing at the time. Because Jay was so far along as a host. He was on stages, he was on TVs, he was everywhere. He was at other HBCUs to the point where we weren't getting gigs because they didn't have enough money for all of us. We were never necessarily like upset at Jay, like, damn, you hogging up too much space, more than we were like, how do we get there? So for me, it was content. I did the Next Deep mixtape, and then that's where Twerk Tape comes from.
We got DJ Chubby Swag on the ones and twos right now. I'm your host, OG Chase B. Look, this mixtape is going to be the craziest thing of the entire summer.
Twerk Tape was that outlet to get me branded content and also export my party style to the world. Now people are like, oh, you're serious. You're a serious DJ. And that was important because we wanted to really bring the party to the people. And this is when people were still downloading everything. Like, you couldn't stream nothing for real without paying for it. So this really helped advance us because we was giving it out for free. We didn't want no money other than the show fee to go up. There was a group called HU Reaction. Justin Dean and Omar. We were stars off of that. Honestly, I know Chase and Jay Murphy were. Even if they don't know each other, they don't know them off of what they do now. They know them from Welcome to Howard 101. HBCU students around this globe that have seen those videos or have seen Drake at Homecoming or stuff like that. And like, if they only knew what was behind that or who was behind that or... I didn't even do Homecoming in 2012. The Homecoming with Drake, I was not DJing that Homecoming. And they lied to me about why and how they did everything. So everything that doesn't happen and how it happens, or doesn't happen because of politics. And it's usually something as simple as this person doesn't like this person. So I was doing the whole week. Comedy show, R&B show, step show, Yard Fest, everything. And then it went from everything to nothing. Being on the outside looking in, really, man, that hurt. That one hurt. But luckily, it came right before a big blessing in the form of Nipsey Hussle looking for a DJ on Twitter. And I happened to be on Twitter right at the time he was looking for one, and it happened to be right after I won HBCU DJ of the Year. And this was back in the day where you could retweet something 1 billion times. Or retweet it, quote somebody else retweeting it, and somebody will retweet that. 40 retweets later, nothing. 60, 100. I'm cooking with gas, but I don't see nothing from it. A couple people send out quality tweets. One of them was Casey Veggies. I'll never forget this. Couple hours later, what's up, player? DM me your info. And then that was that. Nip calls me that day. on my phone. I kick everybody out the apartment, and that one call changed my life forever. And what a lot of people don't know was, I went on tour with that nigga for free. For free. I didn't ask him for $1 until 5 shows were over. Nip at the time wasn't doing tremendously big shows. We were doing smaller type venues. For me, it was still big for us, but it wasn't like arenas.
See this shit, hey, let's say I got swag when I stand up. Yeah. Say I'm the biggest, I think I know what it is. Fly gripping.
The Nip situation helped me so much. It taught me so much. And it gave me an opportunity to DJ for the greatest rapper out of my area. So, forever indebted to him. Good, bad, ugly, everything. Forever indebted to him. ...2012 ends. 2013 begins. But I dropped Twerk Tape 3, and then they ran a sting operation on me in my apartment. I get hemmed up, and I go to jail for the night. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'm in jail for the night. Just gonna kick it. I get out in the morning, tell my people, you know, I'll be straight, whatever. I go and see the commissioner. My bail is $325,000. I'm not going anywhere for a long time. But my parents had some favor on me, and when I called them, because they didn't know, they had no idea what was going on. They had no idea we were flying drugs out, none of that. They had no idea, zero idea. So they were disappointed, but this was the first time I had really gotten in trouble. They bailed me out, paid for the lawyer, and then I had to take care of everything else from there. The amount of drugs I sent and all the states that it went through, and then because it was on a plane, they were finna give me a case for every state. I pled out to one, they dropped the others, and then they gave me probation before judgment, which pretty much means that if I don't get in trouble over the next sentence time, I won't have this felony on my record. And that's what I did. But it sucked because I couldn't get no jobs. And this was the worst part and the worst timing, because when it started, I was on house arrest for 6 months. So I can't DJ nothing at Howard. I can't DJ no events, no clubs. And this is when I have the most popping schedule ever. I'm a house DJ at the Howard Theater. I DJ for Nip, and I got my own shit going. Now I have to throw all that away. I moved into a halfway house. I moved into the basement. Sold a lot of my equipment just to help pay for a couple months of rent. But I also sold shoes, clothes, jackets, all my vintage. I started to make mixes every week. And I'm just doing mix. And all of a sudden my SoundCloud numbers are shooting up. Things are happening for me, but I can't move. And it broke my heart. Running into those rough road bumps, speed bumps in life, it really helped put gas on the fire. I'm walking out of house arrest, walking into Trill Grill, walking into a crowd of niggas that love me, put on by a group of people that love me. And it's no other feeling like that. So I knew that this DJing stuff, this is what I was supposed to be doing. And even the weed stuff, like I knew that was true, but I knew it was something I can do on the side. It's not something that I have to die for. And luckily it got legalized a year after the year I got off. Crazy how everything works. So now we have facilities where we grow and operate. I have my own strain, so that's important. It comes full circle from Felon to franchise.
I am Troy Gardner, also go by DJ Detroit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I went to Howard between 2009 and 2014. I DJ full-time, I produce full-time. I think a DJ is someone who cares about the craft enough to practice it, to listen to the music when they're not DJing, to really put the effort in. If you put your effort in, you get the gigs, you get the networking in, you get the brand. It's all about how much you put into it. I didn't get accepted to Howard. I got in Howard through Newsom, and I had sent him a couple videos of me playing drums because that's what he told my mom to do. And so I went to Guitar Center. They gave me some sticks. I told them I needed to record a video for college. They let me sit there and record a whole video for college. Then I recorded myself playing snare drum, got into Howard. A guy by the name of Malik, he was doing sound, like providing speakers, equipment, all that stuff for each event, and he needed extra hands on deck, so I would help him do that a lot. And that got me in contact with a lot of the Howard DJs. I met Big Will first, and then I met Chubby. One day Chubby tweets that he needs an engineer to help him record some vocals for something he's doing, and I'm like, I'm not doing nothing, what's up? So I show up, set up all my equipment, and him and Chase are there. And turns out this is the beginning of the twerk tape, the first twerk tape that ever came out. So I'm ecstatic. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Dude on vinyl, he did everything on vinyl. So I'm just watching all this magic happen. I go home with all these files. I'm not sleeping for 2-3 days, mixing it all down. I ended up mixing volume levels for each song. That's how excited I was, because I wanted it to sound perfect. 3 weeks later, I went and bought turntables. I wasn't playing. After I decided to really get into DJing, I had reached out to WHBC. The general manager at the time, her name was Tia. She got me in. She put a little faith in me. She was like, I'll come out to whatever you're doing. She came out, saw what I did, wanted to, put me on the team. After that, I was DJing everything. But I asked to, I knew if I got that time, I can build that crowd. And I really got on to DJing and from the Howard standpoint over the main student body, not just band, is because LR would let me do gigs with her. LR was smart because I didn't understand it then, but she was still getting paid. So but after that I did Howard's Hottest. And I don't know if a lot of people know how the story goes, but I came in, tried to do my set, and the sound went out. Sound went out twice in the middle of my set. So whatever set I had planned to do, I couldn't do it. So I had to freestyle a set right then and there, and everybody came with it. I didn't know what to, freestyling was, I could have shit a brick how nervous I was. But I did it, and I just let it go. Somehow I won that. But after that, that's when everything started picking up. I did Homecoming that year. I did Homecoming the year after that, and as you know, I just like being on stage at Homecoming at this point. It's just love, because more or less I'm working. I'm always working.
That's right.
I was there for the North versus South game, and we were all DJing. That's the irony of that one little clip, because it was one of the greatest nights I had ever seen. The basketball players started getting into it. Those were the moments that you remember, okay. And another one of my favorite moments is Twerk Tape 4.
Twerk Tape 4.
DJ Detroit.
The night before Twerk Tape 4 dropped, we were all at Chubby's house. He just all gave us different crates to work with and to build our sets from that. I stayed up all night working on that mix, making sure all the levels was right. I thought I was gonna sleep right after that. My homies hit me up yeah, you just dropped a tape. Get up, we about to go drink. We got a keg. We go to LR's house, who's throwing a party for the Twerk Tape 4. So they're just playing the Twerk Tape 4 on repeat. I am dead tired. But it was cool to see people vibing with what you did. Every time at the start over there, I'd hear my section and people really jamming, and you hear other people's section, they really jamming too. I'm like, yo, this is fire, bro, we did this. But I was dog tired. And that's why I remember it so much, is because it's I gave everything for that goddamn mix. I've been playing drums for forever, so I see DJing as another percussion. You still have to have timing with your hands. You still have to be able to do certain things at a certain time. You have to be able to isolate. Especially playing drum set, you got to isolate every limb. So DJing's not that far off from that. That hunger, it has to be like, all right, I want these gigs. I want this audience. I want people to see what I can do because I've been working hard on it. When people give you that shot, that hunger has to be there when you ready to eat. You can't be hungry and then when somebody put food in front of you, you just, oh, I don't got no appetite. No, you got to go harder than you was going before.
I'm gonna make it rain. But the rain has stopped, baseball has started again, and DJ Kaptain's gonna take us there. It's a mixtape at 8 on WP.
My name is Devin, DJ Kaptain Merritt, Howard graduate. You already know. So when I got to Howard, I was DJ Absolute. And that came from me getting kicked out of a cruise ship party sponsored by Absolute Vodka. Then DJ Kaptain with a K came from my line name. I pledged Kappa in spring 2014, and my line name was Captain America. Interesting how I got started at Howard. When I got to campus, you know, I don't know if you guys still do this, but Rep Your City, I don't know if they do that anymore. Rep Your City, it got rained out that first night. So the campus pals were on the yard with like a bunch of the freshmen. I told one of them, I'm like, hey, I got my speakers in my dorm room. I could come out here and set up and we could go up. He was like, why didn't you say that before? Go get them. A few of the homies living on the same floor. I'm like, yo, can y'all help me bring this equipment? Like, we about to turn up. Brought my equipment out there. First song I played was Pop That. Everybody came over. Then I think it was like just normal radio songs. But then when the party hadn't got shut down yet, I wasn't exactly sure what to play. So luckily somebody was there with me, and I'll never forget this. He might have forgot it, but I'll never let him forget. Chase B was right there next to me, and he ended up like suggesting like what sort of songs to play. He was like, hey, you got this, you got that. I was like, yeah, I do. Something I didn't have. He was like, yo, you got club music? I was like, yes, I do. He was like, drop it. Like, people from everywhere here, bro, you gotta understand. And there was one song I didn't have. I'm from Philly. I didn't know a lot about Southern rap at the time. Everybody was asking for Bands to Make Her Dance by Juicy J, and I did not have that song. That's the one song I didn't have at the time, but best believe I got it. Your job as a DJ is you're basically a train conductor, and your job is to take people somewhere where they want to go, whether they know it or not, in a weird way. So it's like you kind of gotta read the crowds and then take them where you think they want to go. They have no choice but to trust you with like having a good time that night. Howard is a swaggy place. And if you don't come in with nothing, like if you get involved enough and you're open to having the full experience, you're gonna come out a different type of person. A lot of the people I surrounded myself with, they was cold, like, and that's even still to this day, like doing super cold things. Everybody was on a different type of grind, had a different type of focus. But when it came time to party, we had a good time. And the name of Howard alone draws so many people from so many different places. You gotta know all types of songs from every region. Whether it's, you know, Caribbean songs. Afrobeats weren't so big at the time, but you had to have a little bit of them. You had to have club music, Atlanta music, obviously, Texas music, West Coast, Chicago music. LA music was huge. Dallas and Houston had a huge effect on the way I DJ. Like Beat King and Young Nation, I think like songs like that, Work, Work, Don't Stop. Any song with booty in it got dropped. And I've been taking those sort of sets into the club when I DJ these days, and it's cool. Right now, I'm on air at WPGC 95.5, the DNA of the DMV. I actually got my job from the radio station indirectly through Howard. Started DJing for them after a while, and a lot of hard work. Ended up getting on air, so that's cool. Yeah, Howard's everything. I wonder, like, if I would have went somewhere else, would my DJ career be as successful as it is right now? I don't know. The three most important things as a DJ: your skill. Like, I'm gonna always say that, because I don't care how much you push yourself. Like you giving yourself a ceiling if you don't want to continuously practice and sharpen your skills. Your music selection and knowing what to play in certain situations. You gotta have clean music. I guess I could go with your professionalism. I want to put honorable mention, like branding and marketing. Like, regardless of how you do it, you gotta put yourself out there somehow. It's a business. If you don't treat it like that, you're not gonna get very far.
Right.
DJ Swerve.
Hey man, this the vlog. Goddamn Swerve on your ass. Yo, DJ Swerve out here. It's my dog, man, from the A to the U to the HU. Goddamn, you know what it is.
So what's good, y'all? My name is DJ Swerve. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I graduated Howard in 2017. I've been DJing for about at least over 10 years. I was DJing parties around Atlanta, like high school parties. Started the group with my friends called Rebels of Society, ROS, and we were just throwing parties around Atlanta. We went to middle school together, we went to different high schools, but we knew pretty much all the kids in our area, like that was our age. So the way Howard came into play was, my friend Mal, his big brother was going to Howard, and he used to be telling us like, bro, y'all have to come to Howard. Like his mom was telling like, he's going to Howard, no question. So I'm thinking like, you know, they're telling me it's lit, he's going to Howard, my friend's going to Howard, let's just all put it together, let's all go to Howard. Literally me, him, and two of my other best friends, all four of us went to Howard together like freshman years. And it's like kind of cool to see, because now my little brother and Kiddkam and all of them like went to Howard off our strength, you feel me, of seeing us go to Howard and it's lit. So like, it just all trickled down from Miles' big brother to us to my little brother. So good DJing, number one, I would say song selection, because without a good song selection, you're dead. Like, it's over with. Like, song selection can get you a lot farther than any other technical or any other DJing skill gonna get you. Like, if you go up there with the iTunes playlist of the top 30 best songs and you go back to back just playing them and the crowd lit, the club owner might be like, oh, you're a great DJ. They had fun. That means that people were spending money. They was enjoying themselves. Like, you're gonna get booked. Learn how to DJ on literally anything. Like now they have Serato DJ Pro, you can DJ with just your laptop if you have to. DJing is kind of weird. Like the sky's the limit, or there's no real limit to it, but it's like, you kind of literally create your own lane. I always say create your own lane. Like it kind of goes like right hand in hand with the Swerve brand, but it's just like, you really create your own lane. If you want to be on the radio, you can just be on the radio. If you want to be in the club 5 nights a week, you can be in the club 5 nights a week. One of the big moments that I would say at Howard was vacation my senior year. That was probably my biggest party like I ever threw. Like the videos from it are still crazy. Like people still can't believe like that many people was in somebody's backyard, and like people were on the roof and people were in the front, and it was just like so many folks. Like I remember throwing a party with 30 people coming, like, and to see this, it was like, that was really a moment. Being a Howard DJ is like a lineage of like, it's a lot of greatness, you feel me? Like going back to Anonymous, Premonition, all the way down, like Chase, J. Murphy, all these people. Like, so I would say what makes a Howard DJ is someone who pushes the culture forward at Howard, someone who like, you know, first off like pays respect and homage to the people that came before them. And then, you know, like just doing their thing. Like it's not anything like that's necessarily hard or nothing. Just get out there and do your thing. Like all that is fun. Like it's a fun career, I can't lie. Like same way an NBA basketball player would say it's fun. Like you doing what you love and you're getting paid for it. Like that's who gonna beat that?
My name is Jordan Myers, aka DJ Jordan Jetson. I started DJing because I think I had a love for music that I was trying to find a release for. I tried producing, I tried rapping for a while back in high school, and it just never worked. And DJing was the thing that felt the most real. The biggest thing I love about music is that there's always a feeling that you can recognize. So if you hear an old song you haven't heard in forever, you remember how you felt when you first heard that song. I like tying all those memories together and those feelings and creating new ones. So when you come to a Jordan Jetson and say you're gonna get an experience. At first, I didn't want to call myself a DJ because I was looking at a lot of other DJs around, 2014, 2015, all of them are using vinyl, all of them are scratching, blending, you know, like elite mixing skills. And so fast forward 6 months later, we're in fall 2015, and you know, I've gotten a little bit better. I'm not too confident, but everybody's telling me that I should go for Howard's Hottest. I go for Howard's Hottest. I end up winning. And at that point I'm like, okay, damn, I'm a DJ. I met Chubb at Howard's Hottest. That year he was the judge, and he's been a great source of inspiration and like knowledge about the game, and then from there it was just word of mouth. To this day, I know I never really expected it to go as far as it did. It is a tough job being a DJ because you are the reason that the party happens. At the same time, if a party goes wrong, you're the first to blame, which sucks because it's a lot of things that's out of your control as a DJ. You know, you literally handle the music and the energy. So if there's a party and there's no DJ, you don't have a party. Pay your DJs, man. Stop trying to offer them $45 for 3 hours and a pan of chicken. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't work like that. I mean, well, if you gotta make it work, DJs, make it work. But pay your DJs up front. You know, I can't pay my bills with exposure, so, or pans of chicken. I mean, it's food, but I can't pay with it. Okay, so right now we're at Drew Hall. I was honored enough for WHBC, the radio station kind of where I got my start publicly DJing. They asked me to hold a DJ clinic, which I was really happy about because at Howard, essentially, I was trained by DJs before me and alum that had took DJing and made it a part of their lifestyle, made it a part of their career, that really coached me along and saw something in me. I just wanted to extend that opportunity to people who may not have even had the thought of DJing, but they still have a love for music, and they just want to put their hands on something. So we got a couple different stations out there. A lot of my homies came through and helped out giving, you know, one-on-one lessons to people who have maybe seen DJing equipment before, of course seen DJs DJ, but never had an opportunity to really jump hands on. And so that's why we're here today. I was on Mono for the first time, for the actual first time, back at the crib over on North Cap, and he held me down. He's the reason why I went ahead and made the jump from a controller to a vinyl, because he explained to me how authentic it is, how much of a more different feel it is to actually have the music in your hands. So this is DJ Ledbetter. He was HU 14. He was HU 14. I came in literally as a freshman. I think the first time I heard him DJ was at my first house party. Literally on North Capitol. I was a sophomore. And my homeboy was hosting at his house. And so next thing I know, I'm behind the booth and I'm thinking what everybody's kind of thinking, watching him. I said, oh, well, this is easy. I can do that. And then I couldn't do it on mono, but then I slowly got my skills up, and then here it goes. It's literally just practice, yeah. So, but I thank this guy for this. DJ Ledbetter. But he sell houses too. He sell houses too. Yeah. The Howard DJ Network for me honestly means everything. I was honored to meet people like DJ Ledbetter, people like DJ Chubby Swag, who were older alum, and we ran into each other at Howard. They saw something in me, saw my love for DJing or me coming up, and helped me build in the smallest sense. You know, I honestly can't thank them enough. I've gotten gigs, you know, from their recommendations. I've gotten countless songs, countless techniques, countless sessions where we were just able to practice. And iron really sharpens iron, and that is the case when it comes to the Howard DJ Network. They're friends, they're brothers, they're sisters, they're a family that I am proud to call my own.
All right, well, we're at 170 right now, so it's definitely a game time decision. Yeah, I just refreshed it right now, so I can edit it and make it 175. And we can push that right now. My name is Kelechi Onaniwu. I go by DJ Noble. I'm from Sacramento, California originally. DJing a Howard crowd versus DJing just any other crowd really is special because you're DJing for a bunch of black people from all over the world. And you have to understand that like people's tastes are different. What people want and expect from a party is different due to their previous experiences. And you have to take all of their expectations and try and like make them into one melting pot of a party. And that's why I think we're some of the best DJs out, because we have to do that. A lot of other people can really stick to what they do in their area, in their region, and that's cool. Like, you DJ for the people that are there, and we DJ for a demographic that is from everywhere. And that's really how it is for a lot of other HBCUs as well, because I mean, Howard is really one of the deepest like melting pots, but other HBCUs, people go all over the place. So a lot of times at clubs, you gotta kind of keep the energy high, and it's hard to be different because everybody wants like the mainstream top 40 music, the club hits, like the top 10, Billboard hits. With Howard crowds, I can like play shit that only niggas from Philly know. And I know if there's niggas from Philly there, they're gonna go crazy, and that'll cause everybody else to go crazy. Or I can break a song that like my funniest moments is breaking a song that I know just people in New York know, and they're like, damn, he really knows that, and they're gonna go even crazier. So my style, I try to be an all-around DJ, and Marcus such and such always taught me to really go left field in the parameters that I can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've been in situations where it definitely doesn't, and I had to learn from that. One of the most different DJs I know is Detroit, and like he pushes it every time, and he'll make you. There's not one set that I've heard from him or been to or even just practiced with him where I haven't like at least heard like 10 new songs that I've never heard before. I want to make sure whenever you hear me DJ, you're hearing at least one new song, because that's our job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not to play the same shit that niggas been hearing all the time. Like, in the day and age where everybody has everything, we have to be different. Like, back in the day, like, people was really fighting over songs because, like, if you were the only DJ in the area that got it, everybody's gonna go to your party. In my infancy of being a DJ, being able to go on a tour, that was really fun. Like, it was with the Diplomats, but they was like, bro, like, they had to sell out. They were selling out all their shows, and that shit was crazy. I got to expand my DJing palette. I got to play some things that were a little older, which was fun. I didn't have to kind of succumb, and I got to like weave back and forth the new age music that was mainstream. That was an experience like I'll always cherish. Like, I don't care if I never DJ again. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, every summer I try to like challenge myself to do something new, and so like I want to continue to expand on my creativity and what I think I can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told myself, I wanted to make graphics, so I started making graphics. I took that and was like, well, if I can design flyers and shit, I can kind of design clothes, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just took that idea and was like, okay, bet. Like, I want to make my own merchandise for my brand. Nobody can make it look the way I want to look. So I might as well just do it myself. As much as I want to be an all-around DJ, I want to also be an all-around person, like a multifaceted person. So I want to be as talented as I can. I want to provide people with an amazing experience because I want people to feel the joy that I feel when I DJ and when I hear good music. And I love the feeling that when people are happy, you know what I'm saying? That's what kind of drove a lot of why I DJ and like what I think like I've been able to do on campus.
My name is Cameron Franklin, aka DJ Kiddkam. I'm a rising senior music business major at Howard University, of course, Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm Caleb Beezer, also known as DJ Almighty Zeaux, rising senior at Howard University. And
we're the tag team champs. So we've come together, two tag team champs who are just super powerful and beat everybody else out. We put us together, we kind of undefeated. That's like, second to none.
My brother started DJing because of this Xbox game we used to play called DJ Hero. He was so good at it, and then I was good at it too. And so once he started DJing with his friends and throwing parties, he was like, all right, we can do our own thing too.
My grandma, she went and bought us the whole thing, a controller, 2 speakers, stands. That's why she dropped a bag on us for that. So I think we mimicked ourselves after Daft Punk. That was kind of like the co-DJ partnership thing. But like, we flow with each other, So like, sometimes he's doing the mixing, I'm doing the effects. I could be doing the mixing, he doing the effects. Sometimes I'm doing crowd control. I feel like it's almost like we cheating a little bit because you got 2 sets of eyes looking at the party, understanding the vibe while one person's mixing, so it kind of works like that way. Our name was like with Swerve, he was a senior while we was a freshman in high school. Like, while he was going crazy in high school, like that, we was all like opening for him. We was like in the mix already. So when we got to Howard, it was really nothing new for us besides to learn how to DJ for people from all over this country, you know what I'm saying? Playing New York music, playing reggae and all this different type of things. So what separates DJs at Howard is how can you control the students? Like, it's a skill. It's not something you can get on your first gig. It's not something you can get on your a year in. Sometimes people still don't get it.
Overnight, it just don't happen overnight.
It's not, bro. Like,
just about that crowd control, transitions, just not just playing anything. And just not just playing the bangers. It's like you walk into a party, all you gonna hear is straight finito, Dreams of Nightmares, and now all of a sudden you think you're a DJ and you think you just rock the party. It's like, nah, how can you incorporate other sound, other genres, and how you can
throwbacks
into your mix, into your set, and then that's what really makes you a good Howard DJ.
Yeah. Our very first set was crazy. Okay, so we come to campus, we finally pack into our dorms. Our bed's not even made up. Like, we got all our equipment like ready. We get a bin from Drew, and we literally push the bin all the way down the reservoir, like to the valley. Like, we literally like find a trash can, turn it upside down, put our whole heavy NS7 on the trash can, had another trash can for the laptop, our 2 speaker stands, power out of nowhere. And I promise you, like, a sea of people came out and on the steps behind Founders, like going crazy. So campus police came and shut it down. But some random guy, like, I don't even know what he said, bro, just get in my car, get your stuff, let's go. I got a crib right down the street. Now, me being from Atlanta, I should know not to hop in anybody's car with over $1,000 worth of equipment, at least. But I was like, man, I'm in college, stories I can tell my kids. Come to find out, the guy that was in the car was robbed. We get in the car, they literally followed the car all the way down. We just thought it was a regular mansion with some upperclassmen in there. And we threw the craziest party in there. All that. And then one of the guys that called me, shout out to Loic, he came like on our biggest mentors. So it's like, it's crazy how we blew up from that day on. It was just crazy. I take DJing to open doors that, like, for things I want to do. I'm leadership. I'm a connector. So like, me being in the music business, like, I do artist management, I do publishing, I do distribution, I do all that. But all my connects I got literally right now that's off the wall because of me DJing. So that's why I'm grateful to have the skill. So I started an artist management company, Power Moves Only Management. When you're a Howard DJ, it teaches you you can be in these spaces and go crazy. So with my management company, I started it because I have all these connects. I can get your songs played to DJs all over DC. I can get you with KWIS and them. Like, that's why I use my skills as a DJ. Like, I literally can do anything I want because I'm a DJ. So we're literally controlling people's lives for this little 4 hours. We're controlling whether you go home and you find your new love, you find your new best friend you're gonna be friends with for the next 3 years. Like,
memories,
man,
just because of what we do and what we provide for the people. Yeah, that's just.
A club can't be a club without a DJ. A party is a party without a DJ. Like, without a DJs, your event is nothing.
It's literally the party, because it's like, people are either gonna go home and say that party was whack because the DJ was terrible, or they're gonna be like, that party was the best party I ever went to because the DJ did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
To me, what makes the Howard DJ lineage, legacy, amalgamation so great is the fact that we've achieved through every single era. We have greats in every single era, in every single field. If we're speaking just entertainment or just music or just hip hop in general, like, we've got it all. The people in the background are probably the people we have the most of. Whether you're Puffy's era or Young Guru's era or me, Chase B.J. Murphy's era, Premonition, Anonymous, Rocco's era, like, everybody's got an era. Stories will come full circle, like 2012 or whatever. I go bring my mixer home. Chase B, like, hey, need that. I gotta chop and screw this on mixtape. Mixtape is 10 Day. Chance the Rapper has 2 songs on there produced by a would-be Howard student and a would-be DJ. DJ such and such and Chase B, they barely might not know each other now or know that one had a hand in playing with the others. So the legacy, it's like hand over fist. We all in the culture. We are the pulse. The DJs are really the pulse of the campus. We keep everything on beat. We make everything go. We're in control constantly. And oftentimes, if we don't do something, it won't happen. If we don't make the party, if we don't make the vibe, if we don't make the situation, if we're not up to a certain level or bar, the people will not move. You have to work crazy hours. You have to put in your own money, your own time, your own practice. But this is something that no one will ever show you or tell you because we don't get any credit for anything. But we still do the work regardless. We're not like HBCU in the South where everybody's mostly coming from the South. HBCU in the Midwest, everybody mostly coming from the North and Midwest. HBCU in the East, everybody. No, we're in a situation where we're in the Mid-Atlantic. So we get everybody here, everybody's culture, everybody's DJ. It's the best, the brightest, the smartest, most ambitious, thorough black people in the world all coming to one place, and you have to represent all of them with your music and your voice and your musical voice and your musical story.
Me and people older than me have been able to like kind of set a new standard to what like Howard and Howard relationships are supposed to be like, and how we're supposed to really look out for each other for real. As a collective unit, we've just become a lot stronger. You know what I'm saying? And how we move, how we're DJing, what we're doing, the kind of parties we're throwing. I think we've all just been moving up, you know, positively because we've just been bouncing ideas off each other, like making sure we're supporting each other's stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is dope to me. And I can only really see us going up from here, and I'm excited.
Being a DJ is being that person that will at all times. Even if it's your gig, not your gig, someone gives you that shot, that opportunity, you have to put your soul into what you're about to do. It's about being able to be the only person in the room who truly gets to do whatever they want to do, but controls the whole room.
Anything else you would like to say?
It's Howard or nothing. It's Howard DJs or nothing. And there was a time where I used to dream like, wow, if this ever happened, I'd be a pretty happy camper. And now it's happening. And I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. We need more. So that's why you're here. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're all here. So who's next? Who got next? We got space. Come compete.